Hi, I'm Paul Gamarino. Welcome to Mustangs and Fast Fords OC. We're at 3001 South Main Street in Santa Ana. So I've been a Mustang restorer and repairer for many years. It was always my hobby, and I did it on the side kind of weekends while I had a job in corporate America. And then my corporate America job came to a conclusion when the company moved away to Tennessee. And so I always remember my dad saying, if you can find something you like doing, you never work another day in your life. So this is something that I always was passionate about and did as my hobby, and we decided in 2009 to try to turn it into a career. So we focus exclusively on 1965 to 70 Mustangs, and then their sister cars. So we'll occasionally do a Bronco, a Falcon, a Cougar, some of the cars that are related closely to the Mustang. We have a 56 Ford pickup truck in the shop today. So we have a big retail showroom in the front where we sell parts to people who are repairing or restoring their cars themselves. And then we have 5 full-time technicians doing repair and restoration work here in the shop. And we do everything from changing the oil to complete concourse restoration, resto modding, whatever customers are looking for to be done to their classic Mustangs. Yeah, almost every one of these classic cars has some sort of history or story behind them. These aren't cars that people are driving to work or commuting to school. These are cars that people own because they love them. They don't need them, they want them. And so we've had some really great stories, some father-son and father-daughter projects and builds. So we've had one movie car in the shop. It was from the movie Bucket List of it, and then after the movie the car got sold to one of our customers, and so the car came in the shop and there was these wires just running across the carpet in the middle of the car. And so I told my technician, we can't have wires in the middle of the carpet. Somebody's going to step on them, they're going to break them, it's going to short, there could be a fire. And it's very unusual too when I said wires are, find where the wire's going, why are there wires running across the middle of the carpet of the car? And so my technician comes up to me kind of sheepishly a little bit later, and he goes, well, the wires run into the trunk. And I'm like, okay, well, what are they connected to in the trunk? And he said, they're connected to a windshield washer motor. And I said, well, why would there be a windshield washer motor in the trunk? And he said, come and take a look for yourself. So I came back, we opened the trunk, and there was a windshield washer motor in the trunk that had 2 hoses that went right over the rear tires, and they squirted water on the rear tires so that during the video shoot he could do a burnout and the tires would spin and make a lot of smoke. And so the owner wanted to leave all that stuff in the car because that was unique and original to the car and just like a mod they made. So I've been a client of ECS since we opened 16 years ago. So opening a small business is so much different than my corporate America job before that. And so it's kind of headache management. Like there are headaches that pop up 100 times a day, and the goal is to just minimize them, resolve them as quickly as possible and move on because there's going to be more. So the one thing about ECS is it's just made the credit card processing situation something that I don't have to think about and I don't have to worry about. The terminal just works when customers come in. Very, very rarely do we ever have an issue. If we have an issue, we call the 800 number and we get help. The processing, the statements go fine. My wife does all the accounting here, and so she manages that back end of it. The payments get deposited to our account quickly and in a timely manner. The statements are always accurate and truly make it so she isn't having to hunt things down or research stuff. And so it becomes, that's a small part of, it ends up being a small part of her job, and she doesn't have to devote too much resource to that, so she can work on payroll and purchasing and taxes and all the other things from an accounting standpoint that has to go on. So it's really just been, it's just made that aspect of the business one we don't have to think about a lot and we don't have to worry about a lot. So I'm technologically handicapped. I'm not a big computer person. I'm not a big cell phone person. I'm a muscle car, 50s car guy with a carburetor. So sometimes technology, the computer, the phones, the credit card processing is a little bit intimidating for me. Fortunately, I have a manager that's right up her alley. So she was here when we got the Deja Vu P3 terminal upgraded, which was just recently. So she got trained on that, and then she trained me. And literally, it's intuitive, so there's very few things. Only one time did I ever get stuck on a screen, and she had to come and clear it to get me back to the original screen. But it's super simple, and now it just has the tap technology where you just wave the card over the front of the machine. You don't slide it through, you don't punch any numbers in, and it processes super quickly. And we've had it a couple of weeks, and we haven't had a single processing issue with it since in that time. So the ECS credit card processing has been so trouble-free for us since we opened 16 years ago. I can easily recommend it to any other small business person. So it's just a part of the challenges of the daily life that they aren't going to have to worry about. It's not uncommon, probably once a month we get approached by other companies who want to get our credit card processing business, and they want to see our expense structure because they think they can be a little bit less expensive, and I'm sure they would be right until they raised the rates and made them more expensive. So our rates with ECS, to the best of my knowledge, haven't changed in the 16 years that we've been here, and as much as the rates are attractive, it's probably more the ease of business and the quality of the work that has kept us here as a loyal customer for 16 years. If anybody has a classic Mustang or a vintage Ford that they'd like any help with from a parts or service standpoint, we can be found at 3001 South Main Street in Santa Ana, and the business phone number is area code 714-850-1500. And we're here from 9 in the morning till 6 in the evening, Monday through Friday. And we're here a half day on Saturdays, 9 to 1, for people who work during the week and can't get away then.